like it.
What up? What up? It's the Nerve of You podcast, man. Coming at y'all live on a Thursday evening, man. And you know, as people already heard throughout the nation, you know, your man R. Kelly, man, he got a 30-year sentence, man. You know what I mean? They went on and gave him the years yesterday, and a lot of people were speaking about it. A lot of people been talking about it, and you know, I think I'm going to take a different approach, man, because I think the question at this point, you know, as far as the R. Kelly situation is, was 30 years too much? You know, we knew he was going to jail. He fighting cases in like 3 different states. You know, they was going to get R. Kelly on something, but was 30 years too much? You know, R. Kelly already about 55 years old. If he do the whole 30 years, he's probably not going to get out of prison, you know, unless he live for a very long time. Which, you know, prison be preserving a lot of these niggas. A lot of these dudes, man. Prison do that. What else, man? So he fighting cases in like 3 different cities. So we knew that R. Kelly was going to go to prison. I looked at some of the evidence and some of the facts of the case, because you got to understand too, you can act off emotion about what people tell us or documentaries we seen online and go back to the Aaliyah situation and whatever, but everything is not admissible in a courtroom. You got to understand. Now, you could be morally wrong and criminally, you know, innocent. You know what I mean? So a lot of people got to understand, you can't act off emotion. What is admissible in court and what is not. I looked at some of the evidence. I looked at some of the stuff, man. They arrested R. Kelly for sex trafficking and racketeering. I didn't really understand the racketeering part of it. I was trying to figure out what did that have to do with the case. But I think they just slapped that on there to get him more time. So who knows what's going to happen, man. He probably going to file an appeal. Appreciate that $10 super chat, Brown Hornet. He said, good evening to Bugs and the Miss. Appreciate that $10 super chat.
Good evening.
But was 30 years too much, man? That's pretty much the question I got. Given what we know at the end of the day. I mean, what you think?
I think 30 years was an adequate amount of time. I think he ruined a lot of young women's lives over the years, and I think that it's well deserved of 30 years.
I can dig it. I think on my part is that I think R. Kelly deserved jail time. Yeah. For one, he already been in prison for like 5 years now, 4 or 5 years, something like that. So he already been sitting down for a while. But you got to look at the case. My thing is this, right? The case from back in the day. Y'all remember the sex tape? I think I was in middle school or something. High school, middle school, long time ago. The original tape that was floating around everybody's city, everybody barbershop, beauty salon, every African man had it on the corner for sale. That was R. Kelly in the tape. There's no getting around it. Now, you got to understand, that case was dismissed. So you can't go back for double jeopardy, meaning you can't charge him twice.
Right.
So if that case was dismissed and he was found not guilty from that situation, you can only work off the newfound evidence and facts of the case. But what happens is, when we talk about R. Kelly, a lot of people say, well, what about the Aaliyah situation? Or what about the original tape he had with the young girl? And look, all of these things are bad, but I'm looking at the real evidence, and I'm like, yo, man, it seemed like R. Kelly got railroaded a little bit from what I seen. Now, I wasn't in court with these people every day, but I'm even looking at what they charged him with. And I'm like, racketeering? That was kind of odd to me. But at the end of the day, look, morally, R. Kelly deserved 30 years. Morally. But criminally, I don't know if I truly agree with that. And the question is, you know, is R. Kelly even morally wrong if a lot of these young girls volunteered to stay with him? We got to understand. Let's go back to the Aaliyah situation. R. Kelly didn't show up at Aaliyah's house with a weapon and say, come with me. He didn't kidnap Aaliyah. Actually, there are literally reports out there saying that Aaliyah used to run away from home to go visit R. Kelly by herself. Gotta understand. So, you know, and these were interviews done by people close to Aaliyah, but they had to keep it real. You know, the bodyguard said there were times where I had to fly to Florida to go get Aaliyah because she would sneak out the house to go be with Robert. He called him Robert. You know what I mean? So whether Aaliyah was 15, 16, 17, she still was underage, but clearly she was old enough to sneak out the house to go visit this man. I think R. Kelly was close to 30 at that time, pushing 30, when he was married to Aaliyah. So my thing is, he's wrong because she was underage, but when are we ever going to hold Aaliyah foot to the fire? Everybody act like Aaliyah was an angel. When you see the pictures of her, rest in peace, when you see the pictures of her online, when you see, you know, the movie that they made, you know what I mean, the old music videos, I liked that music too. She was soft-spoken, beautiful girl. Aaliyah was no angel. Matter of fact, Aaliyah was being tossed around a little something too. So we can't act like Aaliyah was some angel and R. Kelly was the devil and he went up in the crib with a weapon and said, come with me. No, my friends. Aaliyah was sneaking out the house to go see Robert. I'm going to call him Robert today. We ain't going to see him for a while. What up? We ain't going to see him for a while.
I mean, you got a point. A lot of young women tend to want to be a woman very quickly, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know the true consequences of their actions. So yes, there are a lot of women that like their teachers, and just because he's an older man and she's sexually attracted to him, does that mean he should have his way with her because she's giving him the eye and flirting with him? Teachers know when young kids are flirting with them, but that doesn't make it right. So I agree with you with, you know, Aaliyah was fast and she was not an angel, and R. Kelly, he knows better. He should have known better. And because of, I heard that R. Kelly, he had he was abused as a child and he was sexually assaulted as a child. So I could see how he can evolve into what he is now. I think he's just attracted to young underage women, and that's detrimental to a young woman.
So I can dig it, but I know a lot of people gonna be surprised at my position, because if anybody know me and anybody that watch my channel, y'all know I hold men accountable to a fault.
Yes, you do.
Like, I'm 1,000%. It's always going to be the men's fault because we supposed to be the leaders. But I want to look at this thing holistically and not how I feel. I mean, how I feel is R. Kelly's a savage, man. You know what I mean? Somebody need to slap the eyeballs out his face. But I'm looking at things holistically. So we got the Aaliyah situation. You got the girl from the original tape, right? You got the girl from the original tape. She was mad young. I think She was like 14. And which I think was crazy because she was so young and he was willingly putting this girl on tape. That let me know he's a demon. She's 14, 15 years old and you urinating on the. But at the end of the day, so you got that situation. Y'all hit that like button for me, people. We about to go in on Robert. But I got to keep it a buck. See, I want some of these girls to be held accountable too. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, Aaliyah, the first girl from the tape, definitely 18. Now, this new crop of girls, they was over 18. They was 18. Like, he learned from his first mistake. He called them 18th birthday, come with me. So, they was legal, but now they was saying that they was being abused, which is, you know, I'm not defending R. Kelly, but hear me out. So, now he was getting the girls legal. They wasn't illegal. But now the women said that they was abused. Apparently, R. Kelly gave some of these girls STDs, incurable STDs. He was making them drink out dog bowls and stuff like that. So, you know, just a lot of abuse and things of that nature. But my thing is this. Okay, if you a 19, 18-year-old girl, knowing R. Kelly's history, why are you alone with this man? I mean, are you going to sit here and tell me that 18, 19, 20-year-old girl can't control herself? If that's the case, we need to take away the driver's license of every young girl that's under 21 because young girls can't control themselves. They don't need to drive. They don't need to operate heavy machinery. They don't need a damn job with a security clearance because y'all telling me that these young goddamn girls can't control themselves. Everybody know who R. Kelly is. Everybody know he had a history with underage women. And they voluntarily went with him alone. He didn't kidnap these girls. And I'm going to get to the part where R. Kelly was wrong. I'm going to get to the part where I blame Robert. But when are we going to hold these young hoppers accountable? And then now some of the girls is on the stand crying. Oh, you know, Robert, you gave me an incurable STD. The information been out there. Y'all Google everything else. Why are you sleeping with a man and you don't even know that man? But you owe that man. You don't know that man. Man, at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and I got to look at it holistically. I'm not acting off emotion here because as a man with daughters, I would say lock him up for life. But I got to keep it a buck. If these girls, especially the ones that was over 18, now we're not talking about minors no more. The ones that was over 18, they voluntarily went with Kellz. It's like the United States Marines. I sign up. I swear to defend the Constitution of all terrorists, both foreign and domestic. That's what you do when you get along with Robert Kelly. And they did it anyway, man. And that's odd to me, man. That's odd to me, man. You know what I mean? One of the girls at the trial, her father actually got on the stand. The girl that he gave the STD to, the incurable STD, her father got on the stand. Now, this is a young woman with a father that's sneaking out the house to sleep with R. Kelly. What kind of demonic demon does she have? So we can't even say, oh, you know what I mean, they lack fathers. No, she got a father that love her. We seen the documentary. Some of these girls was brought up in decent homes. What's wrong with them? If R. Kelly got that kind of power over a woman, I need to holler at him because he got the game. What the hell? I'm befuddled, beloved. It's crazy, man. So I'm looking at this shit holistically, man. I'm not looking at it based off emotion. I'm looking at it holistically, man. And I'm like, yo, man, morally, he wrong. But criminally, we got to take a different look at this thing too, man. R. Kelly got, if you ask me, 30 years. I thought that was a bit excessive of the evidence I seen. I'm looking at the evidence and the facts. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the evidence and the facts. And I'm going to get to where R. Kelly was wrong in a minute. You dig? I don't want to hog up all the time, but yo, man, we got to keep it real as a society. Yes, R. Kelly is the leader. R. Kelly is the tip of the spear. He's supposed to know better. You're supposed to restrain yourself as a man. Of course. Of course. But, it's always a but. If you come to me and say, yo, man, every time I drive down the street, somebody rob me. They take my car, take my wallet, pistol whip me. You know what I'm saying? Every single time I drive down this one street, I get robbed. And you call me Friday night and say, yo, I got robbed again. At what point, I mean, it's not your fault that you're getting robbed, but it's your fault for driving down that street.
That's true.
So my thing is, yo, man, we got to keep it real, man. And it's no disrespect to the, victims, alleged victims, but we got to keep it a whole brick. Some of these girls volunteered. I mean, all of them clearly volunteered. They volunteered for Robert. I like to call him Robert. I mean, they volunteered, man.
Yeah.
Now, if you came to me and say R. Kelly gave the girl drugs, kind of like the Bill Cosby, I got zero tolerance for drugs and alcohol. Zero tolerance. But if you came to me and say R. Kelly gave these young girls drugs, alcohol, kidnapped them, I'd be like, yo, put them in jail for life. Put them under the prison and let the Mexicans gangbang them. That's what I would say. But there's no evidence saying that R. Kelly even gave the girl an aspirin. They just wanted to be popping, being with Robert. They wanted to be lit. And that's the problem with these young girls, man. They stay in constant danger because they want to be lit. Yeah. You may hang around R. Kelly, you going on tour, you on private jets. You know what I mean? You eating food you can't pronounce. You did?
Right.
Like, yo, can you order me some calamari? No, bitch, it's calamari. No, bitch, it's calamari. You gotta keep telling her. You buying food that you never had. You wearing clothes you never thought. You got on red bottoms or whatever.
It's true.
Now, they was rolling around with R. Kelly because they wanted to be lit. What's wrong with that 19-year-old girl going to college and dating a young man in college? Why you hanging out with Robert? I mean, we got to keep it real, people. Am I the only one?
You're not.
I don't give a damn if R. Kelly got 30 years or not. I ain't lose no sleep, but we got to keep it a whole brick. Come on. The nerve of you niggas, man. R. Kelly, it was no evidence that I seen. I didn't see all the evidence. I ain't gonna cap. But from what I seen, that R. Kelly gave the girl drugs, that he kidnapped the girls, that he had them under gunpoint or some, yeah. Some crazy. Well, the rest, he had some of them locked up in a room for days. That's the rest. But even when some of the girls left, they came back.
When I was reading up on a lot of these things, there was another case that it was about, I think it was a 14-year-old girl. The guy gave her about, I think, $100 to bring her friends and invite her friends from school over to his house. And he had his way with them. So that woman, that girl that was 14 that took that $100 that lured the other girls to his place, I think women like that, girls like that, they need to think about their decisions, and everything matters. And they can't really say I was young, because at the end of the day, everything matters in your life. So when we have that mindset, I think that no excuse mindset is a mindset we should have, because just because she did that at 14, it follows her. It will always be in the back of her mind that she made that decision, regardless of if she was underage. She still made that decision. That was a terrible one.
Look, I'm gonna get to R. Kelly. I'm gonna talk about Robert where he went wrong in a minute. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it again. Morally, R. Kelly, no, he did wrong. Morally. Criminally, I gotta look at that 30 piece like, yo, man, that's a lot of time, dog. Especially when these girls volunteered. But look, I'm no lawyer. I don't know the sentence guidelines for cases like this. I know it was a federal case. I thought the 30 piece was a bit excessive. I'm like, wow, they hit him with 30. They already said he wasn't going to get out of prison. I get that, but damn, I thought that was a bit excessive given what I seen. And hold on, it seems like they trumped up some more charges on him, like they kind of do with the criminal justice system. Whatever gonna stick if they really want you. They've been chasing R. Kelly for years. Like, they've been trying to get R. Kelly, they say, for like 15 years. You know what I mean? So they finally got him, and they wasn't gonna let him go. I'm talking about the criminal justice system. And look, I'm a proponent of you reap what you sow in life. So I don't feel sorry for R. Kelly because he got a 30 piece. He got to leave. He got to live with that. R. Kelly got to sleep with that. But at the end of the day, like I said, everything ain't what it seems. You know what I mean? And a lot of people get online, a lot of people get on social media, and they want to talk about everything, his whole history. I'm like, cool, his whole history. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. Everybody should be judged. But R. Kelly, at the end of the day, Aaliyah a little hot ass for sneaking up out that house too.
What do you think is a good amount of time they should have? What was a fair amount of time they should have gave him?
R. Kelly?
Yes.
I mean, even the prosecutors requested 25 years. And the judge, it's under the judge's discretion. The judge said 20. For me, if I would have heard like, 15 piece, I'd have been like, all right, that's fair. He been in jail for 5 years. So he already got time served. He been in jail like 4 or 5 years. If they would have hit him with another 15 piece, that'd have been 20 altogether. I'm like, okay, 20 years, he didn't murder nobody. I ain't trying to be funny. Like, for real, I know dudes, this is real talk. I know guys that I grew up with that actually shot people. Like, bang, bang. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about with a gun. And they only did like 7 years. Like, real talk. So,
wow.
Not to say that one crime is better than the other, but I'm just being honest. I'm looking at a violent crime. Well, we can say R. Kelly crimes might have been, hypersexually violent. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I literally know people that shot people. It did 7 years, got out on probation. So, I'm just trying to just put this in my mind. Like, 30 years seemed like a long time. I would think the guy that shot somebody would have got 30 years. You can't have a dude shooting people on the street. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's how it is. When they want you and you high profile, they're gonna get you.
Look, they're making him an example, as they should. And I do think they gave him 30 years so he won't do it again. I think that's fair because it seems like he's gotten away with a lot of stuff. I didn't even know that he was already in jail for 5 years.
He's been in jail for 5.
Yeah, but it seems like over the years he just got worse and worse, and his behavior didn't change.
Clearly.
So, I mean, why would you want him on the street so he could have more underage women under duress? Like, I think he's better off there.
Hey, man, it's the Nerve You podcast, man. Shout out to everybody that's just joining us. Man, we talking about Robert Kelly, a.k.a. R. Kelly, a.k.a. Kellz, a.k.a. the Pied Piper. We talking about him today. And we just talking about, is basically like, we all know R. Kelly was going to prison, but was the 30 years a bit excessive? 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, 30 years. I'm sorry, y'all. Mm-hmm. 30 years. I thought that was a bit excessive, but I'm no judge. I don't have every single fact. I'm just going off of what I've seen, and I'm like, I don't know about that. And And what we gonna do with these hot ass little girls, man? It's time to just keep it a buck. Look, man. Accountability is for everybody. I ain't got my book with me, but that's why I wrote my book, Mirror Talk. Accountability is for everybody. As a young man, if I'm told to be accountable, my female counterpart is accountable, regardless of age. She ain't got to be accountable for her environment. She ain't got to be accountable for her household. But that young girl is accountable over herself, is what I'm saying. The young girl is accountable over herself. If these young girls voluntarily went with R. Kelly and knowing his history, especially the ones that was 18, 19 years old, yo, man, I'm going to be 100 about that. They need to be held accountable, too, for going with that man. For one, right? For one, R. Kelly or not, what you doing just going with a man that you don't even know like that? What you doing sleeping with a man that you don't even really know like that?
Life will held them accountable. Life itself, they're like damaged. They're like broken.
Clearly.
So life will handle that.
But what I'm saying is, in a criminal case, I'm trying to figure out how did they get him for sex trafficking and they girls volunteered. Like I say, I'm no lawyer. I'm going to do my research on it because something ain't really sticking with me. I'm like, well, you know.
Oh, so you're saying like let's say it's a gang, right? And they're underage kids. And let's say the underage kids lure other underage kids to help the older gang members.
But it wasn't no underage kids attached to this case.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm talking about this current case. You know what I mean?
So do you believe that they should be charged for?
I mean, the girl shouldn't be charged, but what I'm saying is, if a young woman come up to me, right? Like, let's say I tell a girl on the street, hey, don't walk down that alley. What you think she gonna tell me? F that. I'm a grown woman. I do what I want. This my body. Whatever. Woo, woo, woo. She gonna give me all of that. I mean, I'm 18. Da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough. You already told me you grown. Any other time an 18-year-old girl, hell, 17, 16-year-old girl, they gonna tell you that they grown. Any other time in life. So, now, you got caught up with the Pied Piper. Y'all got caught up with Robert Kelly. But all of a sudden, we want to forget that these young girls been grown. And I'm like, yo, man, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that the girls should be charged with this or with that. Or they, you know, look, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we got to look at it holistically, man. R. Kelly didn't go up to these young girls and put a weapon to their head. I ain't see no evidence that said R. Kelly did that. You know what I mean? So, me personally, I have an issue with some of this stuff because I'm like, damn, man. You know what I mean? And anybody that know me, I'm not even down with these older dudes messing with these young chicks. I'm not even down with that. I've been talking about that for like 2 years now online. Anybody that watch my channel, I think a lot of these older dudes got some shit with them, man. It's my personal opinion.
Agree.
That's my personal opinion. I think a lot, especially older black men have a fucking problem. R. Kelly included. A lot of these dudes' penises are a weapon of mass destruction, i.e. R. Kelly. But we got to keep it tall. And this is where I lose people because, and I don't really care, but this is where I lose people because Aaliyah's ex-bodyguard said she used to sneak out the house sometimes to go stay with R. Kelly. The parents tried to keep her in the house. She used to sneak back out the house to go see R. Kelly. But don't nobody want to talk about that. Y'all want to sit online and act like Aaliyah was some angel. Aaliyah had thought tendencies. Fuck it. But see, Boogie, you ain't supposed to say that. Fuck that. We see Aaliyah. Look at every picture with Aaliyah and she with a rapper. She hugged up on him. Snuggled up. Let's keep it real, man. She snuggled up. She snuggled up with Jay-Z.
You think
Next picture, she snuggled up with Dame Dash. She snuggled up with Missy Elliott. That's a damn girl. Snuggled up with Timberland. But we don't want to say rest in peace, but can't nobody say, I think Aaliyah had thought tendencies. She messing with dudes in the same crew.
Look, do you think she'll sneak out if she was not sleeping with him?
I don't know. I
doubt she would be sneaking out if she wasn't sleeping with him. If she was not sleeping with him. You take a young woman having sex, she'll go to hell and high water to get back to the person that she's bonded with sexually.
So why are these young girls having sex?
That's a problem within themselves.
So we got to look at the root of the problem. If you come up to me and say a young girl, 18 and under, cannot control themselves, cannot control not even their own body, I understand, you know what I mean? The brain is not fully developed yet. Okay, everything else in life we treat with care. We drive with seatbelts on. We get on the airplane with seatbelts on. They got masks that come out the air. This is in case we hit a bumpy piece of turbulence or something like that. Your computer got virus protection on it. Your microwave got a plate and a door on it. This cup right here, from keeping me from burning my freaking lips off, this cup has a piece of plastic on top to keep me from burning my lips. I won't end up ugly like some of you niggas. At the end of the day, everything, if you work construction, you got on earmuffs or earplugs. If you're in the military, you got on the Kevlar. What I'm saying is, why does every other area in life we handle with care, but when it comes to sex, we are reckless than a motherfucker?
You're right.
Soon as you get in your car, you put your seatbelt on. Why? Because you don't want to get into an accident. You got a higher probability of getting an STD than getting into a car accident, but yet we still reckless with the sex. And that go for men and women. We got to keep it a whole brick.
You're right.
So what I'm saying is we got to look at the root. Okay, if these young girls was attached to Robert Kelly sexually, what is a 14, 15-year-old girl even doing having sex? But we can't say that, C-Boogie. I can't say that. Yes, the hell I can say that. Because it's situations like this, man. And we wonder why a lot of these older men be prowling around these neighborhoods looking for these young girls, mostly underfunded, underprivileged neighborhoods, right? The projects, the hood, the ghetto, trying to creep up on some young pussy. That's where most of the baby mothers is at. That's where most of the STDs is at. All this other crap. Why does everything else we handle with care, but when it comes to sex, we got every damn excuse in the world? Oh, I got caught up in the moment.
Right.
I couldn't control myself. Come on, man. And that go for men and women. I understand the power of sex. I know how strong lust is. Boy, that's a powerful drug. Man, lust will make you hurt somebody, man. But that's why you gotta control yourself. So at the end of the day, if you telling me that these young girls in society can't control themselves sexually, they don't need to be doing it. I would say the same thing for a young man. You can't control yourself. You can't wrap it up. You can't play safe. You can't practice abstinence. Why you doing it? Everything else in life you treat with care.
Right.
You won't even, a young person won't even let me touch their iPhone because they scared I'm going to drop it. They handle it with care. But when it come to sex, we reckless than a motherfucker.
That's true.
God damn. And this shit pisses me off, man. Anyway, let me move on. I'm going to tell you where R. Kelly went wrong. Shout out to everybody there that's listening. Man, hit that like button. Share this live stream, man. I'm going to tell you where R. Kelly went wrong. R. Kelly went wrong, for one, he got a pass on that first tape. the first case, he got off. He paid them off, obviously. The girl from the tape got on the stand and said that wasn't me. Because, you know, the tape was kind of blurry. They couldn't probably identify. Everybody knew it was the girl. He paid them off. R. Kelly escaped. And then even the Aaliyah thing. Everybody let that go. And he came back bigger than ever. Step, step, side to side. Yeah, man. Round and round. He had everybody out here stepping. R. Kelly beat that the first situation. After that, he came out with some gospel songs. We thought he had it together.
We thought.
He was back on tour, working with Jay-Z again. All that. Ta-ta, get the mace. But at the end of the day, we got to keep it a whole brick. He did it again. Yo, once you beat that first case, you beat the first case. We talking about something made. The girl was like 14. Clearly, he needed to go to jail.
Right.
He paid the girl off and beat it. You got another chance at life. And you do it again. This time, the girls wasn't underage, but he still knew he was operating in that gray area. R. Kelly knew that. So at the end of the day, I don't feel bad for him because I'm like, dog, you know how many dudes on the street that don't get a second chance and they innocent?
So if these women weren't underage, what was he charged with?
Sex trafficking. R. Kelly was charged with sex trafficking and racketeering. This case was not really about underage girls. He got charged with sex trafficking and racketeering. You see what I'm saying?
I wonder exactly what he was doing.
But like I say, I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's one thing to hear the evidence and read little clips. I haven't seen all the evidence.
Okay.
So, you know, y'all go and do your research on your own. Don't just take my word for it. I haven't seen every bit of evidence. But this case wasn't truly about the underage thing because a lot of these girls was 18 and over. Mm-hmm. I mean, so he did learn his lesson. But damn, how many chances did R. Kelly get? So R. Kelly got a second chance at life, right? And didn't make the best out of it. This is where I hold him accountable. Bruh, you supposed to fly straight. If I was R. Kelly, you know what I would have did? I would have got married. This is square bits. After you beat that first case, I would have got married. I would have bought me a house way, way, way in the woods. I wouldn't even go to Walgreens without my damn wife. I would have married a wife / supervisor / babysitter / parole officer. For real, to keep me out of trouble. You got a second chance at life and you turn around and do it again. Get his black ass out of here, man. So R. Kelly definitely deserved to go to jail. I don't know about the 30 piece. We'll talk about that again. But that's where I feel R. Kelly went wrong. You beat the first case and messed up again and again. And then now you pretty much in a situation, unless you live until you're freaking 90-something years old, you ain't getting out of jail. So I'm like, damn, dog. What you want to see Boogie to say? You know what I'm saying? What you want me to say, Robert?
Right.
I don't hate Robert. I don't like him. Just stay the hell away from me. I don't want R. Kelly living next door to me. Oh, no, I'm going to jail. But we got to keep it real, too, man. Like, that's where I feel. And then he made some fatal mistakes in the case. They say R. Kelly kept changing his legal team. That's not good. That's not favorable in the courtroom. So that's one thing that hurt him. He actually just changed his legal team like fairly recently again. So after everything was already submitted, all the paperwork was submitted. So he made some key mistakes. He didn't show any remorse is another thing they said. And in court, he had an opportunity to apologize to the victims and he didn't. A lot of times they'll give you leniency on your sentence if you apologize. But I guess it's like, why would I apologize and I'm saying I'm not guilty?
Right.
I don't know. But that's another place he went wrong because he didn't apologize to the victims. He kept changing his legal team. They was looking at his posture in court. He didn't seem like he was sorry. Some people were saying he was kind of arrogant, and stuff like that. So, and then the victim testimonies really hurt him. Anytime you in a case like this, and then you got young women getting on the stand, and they crying like, you messed my life up. You gave me an incurable STD, and they saying how he affected their life. All of this plays on your sentence, man.
Right.
So I kind of understand why he got the 30 piece, because it was racking up. You see what I'm saying? It was stacking up everything against him, and he didn't have much of a case against what these girls were saying. He didn't have much of a defense. So, again, I can kind of see why he got it. I might not agree with it. I would have probably gave him like 15, 17 years. Add the 5 he already did. It'd be like 22 years. Hey, man, you could do that. You know what I mean? It's still a long time. But the 30 piece, I was like, But then again, you know what? I don't feel sorry for R. Kelly either. Hell, he'd be all right because he had a second chance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be accountable for stupid stuff you do in life too. If anybody get a second, we talking about major crime, we talking about underage pornography, girls. If you can beat that as a man, dog, you should be in church every Sunday.
And only get 5 years, right?
No, that was the case that got dismissed. I'm talking about the first girl that was on the tape.
Oh yeah, the 14-year-old, yes.
So he should have been in church every Sunday, Bible study on Tuesday.
Thanking his God.
All the church revivals. You're supposed to change your life. Some dudes become pastors after they beat something like that, man. You're supposed to change your life. But he didn't. He got right back into these streets. And some of that stuff was pretty gruesome, what these girls were saying, too. Some of that stuff was pretty gruesome. And look, I'm not going to sit up here and defend R. Kelly like some dudes would be like, oh, they trying to take his money. They trying to take a black man down. F that. But what I'm saying is, because I know that's cap. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you could be morally wrong, but criminally, you can kind of get off sometimes because you're not really breaking the law. And with the evidence I seen, I was like, yo, man, like, this case a little different, man. These girls was kind of pretty much knocking on his door. And, I think that we need to relook some of the sexual freedom that we have, especially for young people. I know everybody want this society where we can do what we want and we grown and it's my body, my choice. Well, you made your choice.
Right.
I ain't trying to be funny. Now you got an incurable STD. Now you got emotional trauma for the rest of your life. So if a woman say my body, my choice, and you make your choice, I'm still supposed to come to your rescue?
Right.
Like,
that's true. You're not.
And this is a message to the fellas. Look at the position that they put us in. I mean, honestly, fellas, look at the position that we in. The women say, my body, my choice. Women literally make a choice and still blame all men. Come on, man. Like, we're not going to keep it a buck about this stuff, man. Like, we're not going to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Right. Thank you for that $5 super chat, Percy.
Thank you.
Hey to see Boogie and the lovely lady beside you. I say 30 piece was overkill. I mean, I say the same thing, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? This is not an R. Kelly pity party. We're not making excuses. I'm not making excuses for Robert, but I got to keep it a whole brick. You know what I mean? If those young girls would have just went to college and studied and stayed in a dorm room, like most 19, 18, 20-year-old girls, they wouldn't have been caught up in that shit.
I have a question. Do you think
No,
do you think if R. Kelly do you think if R. Kelly was at his peak of success, do you think these people will be quiet? Or do you think that they came out because his success was declining?
I don't know. It's hard to say because I think R. Kelly, a legend, he always was going to be relevant. Mm-hmm. You may not be as big as you once was, but R. Kelly is a musical genius. We gotta, no BS.
That's true. I agree.
You got Michael Jackson, you got Prince, you got R. Kelly right there. You got Marvin Gaye, you got, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a legend. He is.
R. Kelly is a musical genius. He was always going to get the bag.
Right.
So my thing is, I can't say if that was one of the reasons. I mean, I'm pretty sure, a lot of people stealing his music now. They taking his publishing. And, I mean, like, I'm talking about all the business aspects to it, too. When you get yourself caught up, they come and take everything.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure, you got to look at the whole picture. But I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. And I don't even want to get into that. But R. Kelly, a musical genius, man. He'll never be erased from musical history. Now, whether you choose to listen to him or not, that's a personal opinion. But what I'm saying, of my generation, nah, he the one. Like, because my mother's generation was Michael Jackson, Prince. My grandmother's generation was James Brown. Real talk. I used to ride with my grandmother, listen to James Brown. Mm-hmm. My generation was R. Kelly. It was a few other people that came and went, but I'm talking about that had a run.
The quality of the music.
And the quality, it was R. Kelly.
Yeah, the quality of the music was amazing.
Chris Brown could have been the next one, but Chris made a fatal mistake. I ain't trying to be funny. Chris messed up the church's money. Chris Brown, I thought he was going to be the next one. So, and then, after, you had Usher. You know what I mean? Like, you had a few dudes, but R. Kelly was the one.
Yeah, he was.
Yo, when R. Kelly dropped that, I wish. Oh, my God. Yo, man.
It was like a hood gospel.
Niggas was crying. When R. Kelly dropped I Wish, oh, my God, man. Yo, that TP2.com is a classic. That might be one of the best albums ever made from start to finish. Soon as it come on, hit it hard from the front, turn around from the front. R. Kelly came when I joint.
Are we allowed to still listen to his music, or will we?
Y'all not. I am.
Cause I think we should separate the artist. As much crap I'm talking about him,
y'all can't.
I do think that we should separate the artist from the person.
That TP2.com, as soon as it come on, slap it.
If I could turn.
But anyway, let me.
I love that song. Turn back the hands of time.
But yeah, so back to what I was saying, because we're gonna start wrapping it up soon. But we gotta keep it real too, man. This case, we shouldn't just look at R. Kelly when we talking about this case, right? We should look at society too, because society is our responsibility as men, as women, as adults.
Right.
It's our responsibility to make it better for the next generation. At least that's how it's supposed to be. And if we're going to look back at this R. Kelly situation, we got to keep it real and say, you know what? We got to look at the sexual discipline of young people. I think Tony Maceo said something. Excuse me, man. I think Tony Maceo said something like, you should have a, like, you know how you have a driver's license? Like, that's what you should have to have sex these days. Like, a lot of people need like a sex driver's license. And I'm like, he might be onto something, because we have to look at the sexual discipline of young people in this generation. Because in my generation coming up, it was about the gangbang. I'm just keeping 100. That was the big thing, the gangbang. But now they done took that to another level. And the generation before me, a young girl giving head was like eccentric. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Get her to the pastor. She got a demon. Right. And then it transformed into the gangbang. And this is the evolution. And then now, girls is just dating best friends. They just sleeping with brothers and fathers and sons, and they don't even care. So I'm watching the evolution, and honestly, I'm seeing what it's doing to people. This is why people can't date properly. This is why people can't be in good relationships, functional relationships, because they've been through too much sexually. They've been through too much, man.
Right. And shout out to Nicole Michelle. She was talking about how in the hood, it's such a prey predatory mindset that the young boys have, that the women aren't in an environment where there's marriage and they could look forward to marriage. These men are looking at the women like, I'm just going to piss on my territory and move on. And if you have a child, that's your child. You know, it's very, there's no love. And the men aren't looking at the woman like, okay, I want to start a life with you. I want to take you out of this place. Let's work together to get out of this poverty. So it's a very harmful, terrible environment for a woman.
Shout out, we got a couple super chats. Thank you, Percy. He said, if R. Kelly got a 30-piece on a Rico, I know Young Thug is shaking in his boots. Young Thug is finished. Nah, you talking about severe violence in Atlanta. Young Thug is finished. Shout out to Kiki Love. She said, everyone has to have accountability and discipline, from the grown-ups to kids.
Kiki, do you love me?
That's 100. I gotta agree. Accountability is for everybody, man. And I already gave my dissertation on sexual discipline. I don't have to go there no more. But like I say, in every facet of our life, we careful. We don't even want nobody logging into our emails. We don't want nobody into our Instagram account. Y'all hide y'all PIN number at the ATM. But when it comes to sex, it's a free-for-all. I find that odd.
Even the phones, you got codes
and facial recognition,
right,
and your
fingerprints
eyes and your lips and all this all type of stuff to secure your phone, but you don't have anything to secure your life and your sexual health and your wellness. We take that lightly. I find it very odd. But you know what? No, I don't. I don't find it odd because I know who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with this Negro male. I'm going to be honest. This Negro male is a weapon of mass destruction. And I know I'm going to take a lot of heat for that comment. And y'all heard it here first. This black man's penis is a weapon of mass destruction. They've been using it as a weapon since slavery.
You're
Ain't
right.
nothing changed. I mean, even if you look at porn, look how they use black men in porn. Soon as white girl or Hispanic girl get on a porn site, she typing in BBC. You know what I mean? They typing in BBC or look how they use black men in porn. Look, man, like black men's penis is a weapon of mass destruction. I'm telling you, man. And a lot of dudes don't even see how we destroy our own community with our penises. Some dudes think it's just like whatever. Like, you know what? I'm entitled to it. I'm going to do what I want. Yo, I'm here to say with a straight face, black men have destroyed his community with drugs and his penis. Period. And you know what? This been a bad year for black men. Niggas is going to jail. They dropping dead.
And violence.
Like, every 3 days.
Don't forget violence.
Every 3 days, something. I'm dead serious. It's a new black man going through it. And I'm going to keep it 1,000 with y'all. I think it's because, honestly, the energy that we put out as black men is coming back on us. The same energy we put out into the world, we stepping right into it. Look how many black men is in poor health. I mean, you got niggas literally dropping dead.
Yeah, that's not funny.
I mean, like, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. And I ain't trying to be funny. Like, rest in peace Kevin Samuels. But, I mean, he had a untimely death.
For real.
He was only 53.
He ain't even enjoy his wealth.
He was only 53. So at the end of the day, I gotta keep it 100. I think this is like a black men's day of atonement, or
doomsday,
or like a judgment day. Look how many black men is in poor health. I mean, dudes is going to prison. I mean, STDs. I mean, black men is obese as hell. Yo, man, I think the universe is punishing black men to what we did to our own community. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just being 100. I know it comes off as a joke. You know what I mean? Because we doing the podcast, But I'm 100% serious on that comment. I think right now, the energy that we put out in our own communities and other people's communities and all this crap and what's in our hearts as black men, we stepped right into that shit and niggas is dropping dead, going to prison, getting smut on their name. I'm sorry. I can't see it no other way. It's a cleansing going on. If y'all don't recognize, and I don't want to get too spiritual because this is my last point and we're going to get up out of here. There is a cleansing going on. There's a purge going on. You know what I mean? And I know people don't want to see it because a lot of people can only see what's in their face.
Right.
They can't see beyond the veil. There is a black men's purge going on. Because we destroyed our own community. There is a cleansing going on of this negative energy. And it's going to keep happening. We're going to keep waking up. There's another black man going to prison. There's another 2 or 3 black men getting shot down. I mean, come on, man. These are the men. This is barely the women. I mean, the women got their own issues, but look what's going on with the men.
Right.
Black men, we are in a bad position. And I understand why. Because we having our Day of Atonement. Why? Because look how we mistreat women. Look how we talk about the women. We don't give a damn about the next generation. Black men are spiritually dead. Not all black men, but enough. Black men are spiritually bankrupt. Black men's penis are a weapon of mass destruction. Dudes picking up all these alternate religions. Dudes is going to the Dominican Republic, spending their pension on Dominican pussy.
Trying to promote poly.
Talking about they pimping. Look, man. Look, I see what's going on.
They got some nerve.
I understand what's going on. As black men, a lot of dudes are paying for the energy we put out into this world. And y'all ain't gotta listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. I don't give a damn. But y'all gonna keep waking up. And there's gonna be more shit happening to black men. And you're gonna be like, yo, what's going on? And I'm telling you, it's a purge. It's a cleansing going. You gotta cleanse this energy. Because if yo, man, if this energy stay at the pace that it's going, look at the violence that black men are putting on black women. You see that video where a dude hit the girl with a skateboard across her face?
I can't watch that. I ain't never seen it, but I heard about it.
And then we wonder why these girls are so aggressive. Yo, man, this black men are paying for all the things we didn't do, as far as good that we didn't do, and all the shit that we did do. And everything is coming to the light. Like, dudes is going to prison for stuff they did 30 years ago. Look at Bill Cosby 40, 50 years ago. Everything is coming to the light. And I know the conspiracy people going to come out like, oh, you know what I mean? They try to take a black man down. Fuck that. Russell Simmons. I mean, all these guys is coming to the light.
And it's good. I like that money and status cannot protect you. I like that. I do, because I want the guys that don't have that, I want them to be finished too.
Hold on. Yo, somebody said, I agree with C Boogie on point with that one. The black man is finished. This nigga's highly finished. And somebody else say Boogie talking shit after all his dirt he did. You gonna get yours too. I mean, dog, I've never, and you know, usually I would block this idiot, but I'm gonna be honest. I had my Day of Atonement. I've had my day, my judgment day. I'm no cap. I've had my day where I had to pay and I had to repent and all this shit. I had to ask for forgiveness for people. I've had my day. But I didn't destroy my own community. I did some things wrong. But you Negroes, y'all finished. I've already had my day with the Creator. And I know God gonna deal with me for everything I did wrong. But let me tell you something. You know, the Quran says when you pass, have your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds.
You can send that payment to
right now,
Miss Rebecca Rose Cash App.
So at the end of the day, y'all can kiss my ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm in full repent mode, and I'ma stay on you Negroes' neck. So y'all, Until I'm done with this podcast, maybe in like another month or two, y'all can kiss my ass. Until that day, I'ma stay on you niggas' necks. Y'all gonna get tired of me. Yeah, you ain't gotta like me because I know what's going on. That it is a purge.
Mm-hmm. And you're the first person that actually saw it. You know, I saw it too, but I didn't really.
I told you about this a year ago.
Yeah, you did.
I told you about this a year ago.
Yeah.
So when certain events were happening, I wasn't surprised. And I was like, yo, man, I'm glad I got up out that energy. Just imagine if I was still cool with Kevin Samuels. Imagine if he would have had some influence on me. I'm not saying that he would or wouldn't have, but just imagine if that was the case.
Right.
I'd be finished.
Finished.
You know what I mean? So, look, man, I escaped with my life. And I'm up. And I'm done with this live stream tonight, man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all coming through.
This was a great show.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. You
Great
know what I'm
work.
saying? Love y'all, man. Shout out to Robert. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, take that 30 piece like a man, R. Kelly. Stand on it. I don't want to hear R. Kelly on Suicide Watch. I don't want to hear R. Kelly. I don't want to hear R. Kelly, you know, trying to escape from prison. I don't want to hear none of that. Only thing I want to hear is R. Kelly taking his time like a champ. You did the crime. You did these salacious acts. You gotta take it like a champ, dog. That's what I'm saying. Stand tall on that 30 piece. File your appeal. Do what you gotta do. That's one of my pet peeves is when niggas go to prison and they can't stand on that time. I have an issue with that. I used to work for a prison and I used to watch a lot of dudes get in front of a judge and cry. Dudes would start blaming their mother. Oh, my mom in a wheelchair. I got to be here to take care of my mom and all this crap. Stand on that 30 piece. I'm dead serious, man. I've seen dudes embarrass themselves in front of a judge instead of taking accountability. A lot of times, that'll get some time knocked off a couple years. You stand in front of a judge, regardless of his color, you say, you know what, Your Honor? I made a mistake in my life. I take full accountability for my decisions. The only thing that I can do is go to prison and transform my life, and I want to prove you wrong. I guarantee a judge, more times than not, will be a little bit more lenient than you getting in front of him crying, talking about, oh, you know, my mother in the wheelchair, I got to take her to dialysis, I can't do the time. Well, you was out here thugging. You was banging. They got the Instagram videos. You on Instagram gang banging. You know what I mean? So, you got to take that time like a man. R. Kelly had chance after chance after chance. R. Kelly had every chance in the world. He already beat the first case. And he messed up again. So, you know, I don't feel bad for this nigga, man. I don't feel bad for Kellz. I don't, man. I ain't lose no sleep. I think the 30 years is a bit excessive. That's the only thing I'm saying. Other than that, man, y'all fall back, man. This dude is a monster, man. At the end of the day, this dude got a problem. R. Kelly got a demon. He need to be baptized in prison. But I think chemically he's off. Neurologically he's off. You know what I mean? You 55 years old out here dating young girls, 18. You got a problem, homie. Even though they legal, that's something. What would a 55-year-old man, besides some nasty trifling sex, see in an 18-year-old girl? But this is what y'all promote. This is what y'all like. Y'all love this type of shit. Y'all sit online and promote this type of malarkey. Buffoonery. You know what I mean? And then soon as R. Kelly go to jail, y'all gonna be like, oh, that's what he get. Y'all sit online and promote older men dating young girls all the time. Y'all promote this shit all day, every day. So what's the difference now? Fuck out of here, man. Bozos, clowns. You niggas been hoodwinked. Taught wrong. Bamboozled. Led astray. R. Kelly got like 3 kids, 3 or 4 kids. I think he got a transgender kid. R. Kelly got some kids, and they got their issues. He got an ex-wife. Anyway, man, I keep saying I'm out, but yo, man, I just enjoy the podcast nights like this, man. You know what I mean? Donald Trump ain't go to jail because he paid to play. You know what I mean? But that's a different situation. That's a different situation. So I'm not defending R. Kelly, but I just wanted to have an honest conversation about Robert. You dig? I will never defend a slime grease ball. He's a slime ball. He's a grease ball. But at the end of the day, these girls was knocking on his door. These girls was getting in his car. These girls was running away from their house just to be with him. Let me find out R. Kelly got that whip appeal, man. Come on, dog. Anyway, we out, man. Y'all have a good night. Peace.